Good evening. Let me first say ditto to all the thank yous for everybody coming here, the board and everybody else. But let's get down to matters. I'm not going to tell you that your taxes are going to go down, because number one, the borough only controls about 20% of your taxes. You've got the county taxes, you've got the school board taxes, both the local and the regional schools, you got the county open space tax, and you got the borough open space tax. That all contributes to your taxes. So the borough has very little to do with the overall budget and what the overall taxes are. We do try to control the costs that we have internally. We are looking at everything for shared services that we can. But anybody that tells you that because of the municipal budget you're going to have your taxes reduced is either being misled themselves or they're trying to mislead you. That's not the case. It's very difficult. Most of the budget that the borough does have are fixed costs. You got salaries, you got health costs, and all that. You have a DPW that's got to keep the streets plowed and everything like that. So you don't have a lot of places. And we do have certain mandates that come from either the state or possibly even the county, but mostly from the state, that you don't have a choice but doing it. So your taxes are not going to change. I would say one thing to the seniors. You know, senior housing, even if it came to Oakland, but with possibly the elimination of COLA, you may not get that. But even if you do have it, you got to remember, when it comes to housing like that, low-income housing, you go into a pool. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get selected to go into that. You might wind up with senior housing with no Oakland residents in it. My advice to all seniors are, especially seniors that are on fixed income, and I'm one of them, is look at the program that the state has. They have a property tax freeze where your taxes are frozen. So when you first qualify for it, your taxes, whatever they are, the property taxes, then I'm going to grab a number. If you're paying $12,000 in property taxes, that's $1,000 a month. If it's frozen, if your taxes went up $1,000 the next year, you got to pay the $13,000, but you're going to get $1,000 back from the state. So most seniors can't keep up with the property tax increases. So you got to look at those programs. Believe it or not, the income level is fairly high for that. And again, if you're on fixed income, it's not like somebody working that's making really good money. But if you're on fixed income, you very well may qualify. You got until November this year because they extended the deadline twice. I'm going to look at it to see if I qualify for the darn program. So first of all, I'm not going to tell you that about taxes. About shared services, we are looking at that. As a matter of fact, many years ago, when, I don't know how many of you remember, Jim Gerry and I were on the council together, we went to Franklin Lakes and asked them if they wanted to share dispatchers. And they laughed at us, because most communities are interested in controlling everything that they have. Local control, I'm sure you've heard the expression. Everybody wants local control. Well, with the financial situation that we're in now, many, many more people are looking at shared services. And the same thing with grants. You can go out for grants, but remember, that's going to cost you money also. My philosophy on grants has always been that if you're going to get a grant for something that you really need or you really want to do. Even though you can get money, you're going to have to match it. And it's like, if I don't have to redo my kitchen at home, even if somebody gives me half the money, I'm not going to do it, because I can't afford the other half. And as far as grants go, you know, I've heard other people say, and look, I've been on the council for 21 years. I can say there have been millions of dollars I've gotten you as grants. I haven't gotten you a cent as grants. What the mayor and council does is we approve grants that people in the borough apply for, the borough administrator, the recycling coordinator, the police chief, the people that work every day. They're looking at where they can get money as grants. So in most cases, the governing body doesn't look at it. The borough engineer, we're getting grants for roads, for doing roads. The borough engineer is looking at that and coming up with the evaluation. We do it every year, so it's a standard one. So I'm not going to tell you I've gotten millions and millions and millions of dollars of grants. They've come in while I've been on the council, but the council evaluates all of them, and I will vote for a grant that is appropriate for the borough for something that we want to do, like we did the tennis court. Some people weren't in favor of that, but we got substantial grant money to do that, and our tennis courts needed it. So I thought it was the appropriate time to do it. We got great prices for it because businesses out there were looking for work, so it was the most appropriate time to do it. It would eventually have to be done. If we lost those grants, thousands of dollars, then it's going to come back on the taxpayer when we finally do those courts. So by getting the grants and using them at that time and the appropriate time, I know economic times were hard, but it was a very good time to get those grants. So I'm not going to tell you a lot of stories. I've always tried to represent the people. You know, I was elected to represent the people. I've said it. I haven't been elected to represent a party. I've always run as a Republican, but I've always been elected, hopefully, because people felt I represented them. So I'm hoping that people know me for the 21 years I've been on the council, but I also know that a lot of people in those 21 years are gone. You got a lot of new people in. So anybody that is familiar with me, I ask everybody. I'm not sending out a single mailer. I'm not doing anything that costs any money because I haven't asked for a cent from anybody, although people have offered to give me money. And I am not Michael Bloomberg, so I can't afford to run my own campaign. To send out a simple letter is probably about $3,000. Over 4,000 homes in Oakland, you have to buy the mailing list, then 50 cents approximately postage each. It's $2,000 in postage, then getting the letter done and everything else. So I'm not sending anything out. I'm going to depend on word of mouth. So I'm asking people, if you like the way I've represented you, and I'm not saying if you've agreed with everything that I voted for or voted against, but if you think that I've represented you the best that I feel that I can, I'm asking people to come out and vote for me, but not only come out and vote for me on November 2nd, but please talk to your neighbors and your friends and get them out. If you want me to continue representing you, that's the only way I'm going to do it, is by word of mouth. Because you're not going to get any mailers from me. It's not going to be, the only name recognition I have is from being on the council. So if you don't talk to people, and I hope everybody here will, but if you don't talk to people, I'm not going to get elected. And I would hope to continue to serve the people of Oakland. I think I've done it well over the years, and I hope to continue doing so. So please talk to your neighbors and friends, and if you support me, come out on November 2nd and vote for me. Thank you.